Hello and welcome to Reginaldesq. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the American Tier 9 SPG, the M53/M55. So is it any good? Yes, it's quite a good SPG. What's good about it? Well, it has a fully enclosed turret, which means we can run vents. It has good gun traverse, 30 degrees to either side, which helps effectively speed up the aiming time and means you don't have to move your tracks too much. It's also a very agile tank. It's quick and can maneuver quite well. Also has 5 degrees of gun depression, so it can defend itself well at the end of the game. It does feel like a step up in the American line because the gun does pretty good damage now and has pretty good penetration. The trade-off is the aim time, and that's one of the negatives. Not the aim time, sorry, the loading time. It takes a while to load. It does take a while to aim as well, but that's probably the negative of the tank, is because of the longer loading time. I found I was having less effect on the game than I was in the lower tier arty. So why? Well, because in artillery you can affect the outcome of a game by focusing on a flank that's a little bit weak. So if you looks like your flank's a little bit weak, we focus on that side and blast them a bit so that our tanks can win that flank, and then you focus on the other flank. Well, that's how I played anyway. With this tank, because of the longer loading time, if you miss that crucial shot that's going to halt the enemy in their tracks, you've got to wait a long time before you get to have another shot. So I felt that I was less able to have a big effect on the outcome of games in this tank for that reason. So my win rate in this is about 53%, where I'm generally up around the 60% mark in artillery. However, you can have some big damage games and it is pretty good fun. The gun arc is lowish, which is not good, but it's not super low. So it's workable. There are some maps though where it's not too good as well. Now, on this tank, I have vents fitted because it has a fully enclosed turret, and that is a pretty big advantage. Not many of the artillery have fully enclosed turrets. I also have, of course, a gun rammer fitted and a gun laying drive fitted to speed up the aiming and loading times, but those vents, of course, help speed it up even a little bit more. Now, my crew is pretty good now because I've had it in American artillery for the whole line. They've all got 6th sense. The commander, they've all got brothers in arms. The commander has 6th sense and is working on concealment. This guy has designated target and is working on concealment. So designated target should keep the target highlighted for an extra 2 seconds after it's no longer spotted, provided you are currently targeting it. I'm not sure if it works for artillery. It should, because it says targeted directly or indirectly. So it should still work for artillery. So that should help us. Brothers in arms, of course, and snapshot this guy's working on. Now, this guy's only got 1 skill because this tank has 2 gunners, whereas a previous tank only had 1. So bear that in mind. Once you move up to this tier, you are going to have to get another gunner from somewhere, and if they haven't got brothers in arms, it's a bit of a pain. This guy has clutch braking and is working on off-road driving. This guy has concealment and is working on adrenaline rush, which is pointless because I don't use anything except standard HE. And this guy has concealment and is working on firefighting. So that'll give you a better idea of any alterations in the gameplay. Let's have a look at the tank comparison. There are only 5 Tier 9 artillery in the game currently. M53, 55, the one we're reviewing, he's here on the left, and we have the Russian, the German, the British, and the French. So, DPM of 1500 is about average. The lowest is 1459 from the British, and the highest is 1615 from the Russian. Penetration of 52mm is pretty high for artillery. Same as the Russian, only the German has more at 53, which is only 1mm more. The British has 46 and the French one has 48. Damage of 1050 is getting up there now, same as the Russian. The German has 1100, so 1 more mil and 50 more damage. Only 900 on the 3805 and a very low 750 on the French one, which has a rapid fire gun. So reloading time is 42 seconds, which is pretty long and is the equal longest along with the German. The Russian has a faster firing gun with 39 seconds to load. The British is a lot faster at 37 seconds, and the French one is faster again at 30. Explosion radius of 11.7 meters is very good and is 0.2 of a meter more than the Russian, but the German GW Tiger has 12.6, which is pretty close to a tier 10 splash radius really. Only 10 meters on the 3805 and only a lowly 8 on the Batchat, so you really need to hit your targets with the Batchat. Shell velocity of 440 means the gun arc isn't great, but it's not terrible. It's kind of in between there. The Russian should have a much better gun arc with just 425 on the shell velocity, 435 for the German. The British has 440, same as the American one here, and the French one has 490, which means the gun arc should be absolutely terrible on that thing. Ammo capacity of 20. I think my biggest damage gain was 4,000 and something, and I didn't run out of ammo, I'm pretty sure. So the 20 seems to last unless you're really lucky. The others all have way more ammo than I'll probably ever need, except for the GW Tiger only has 15, and that you could probably run out in that. I'll find out when I get that tank. So moving right along now to gun handling and the aim time. Now remember, this aim time is to aim 60% of the way, it's not the real aim time. So it says 5.2, so we're really looking at about 10 seconds to aim the gun, which is the same for all the first three. The FV3805 is a little quicker at 4.8, which is probably more like a 9-second aim time, and the Batchat has pretty much an 8-second aim time as the fastest of the lot. But we'll talk a bit more about the aim time in a second. Dispersion, 0.75, not real good. 0.77 on the Tiger, 0.74, pretty bad. Only one that has any sort of accuracy at all is the Batchat with 0.63, but it has that terrible low gun arc, so it needs better aim. The what else? And also has a low splash radius, so it definitely needs better aim. We have gun elevation is all pretty good. We have 65 on ours. 5 degrees of gun depression, which is one of the things that makes this tank really good at defending itself at the end of the game. The T212 here only has 1.2. The next best is GW Tiger at 2 and FE305 at 2 degrees. The Batchat has 0 degrees. So they're all not too good, whereas we're actually quite good. Gun traverse at 32 degrees to either side is fantastic. It means that we don't have to move our tracks very much, which also effectively speeds up our aim time. So even though your aim time on paper, 5.2, which is really 10 seconds, is the same as the 212 and the GW Tiger, if you look at their gun traverse, 4 degrees and 5 degrees, we actually have a much quicker aiming time because we're able to, move without having to move our tracks, which throws your aim completely off. So it is a big advantage in artillery to have a good gun traverse. So that's great. The FE305 also has really good gun traverse at 25 degrees either side, and the Batchat has 180 degrees either side, but it's countered by a very, very slow gun traverse. So our forward speed of 56.3 kilometers an hour is really good. It's identical to the Batchat and enables us to get in position really quickly and also to defend ourselves really well, because it also comes with a great track traverse. If we look down here, the track traverse is 24 degrees, same as the Batchat, which is really quick. And if you watched my latest video, my What the video, What the 2, if you watch that, in this tank I basically outmaneuver a tank destroyer that comes after me, a Chinese tank destroyer. He tries to circle me and I'm able to actually circle my gun and get another shot off on him and kill him. So it can defend itself really, really well, this tank. The reverse speed of 14 is also pretty good, so it's fast and has good track traverse as well, same as the Batchat actually. What else have we got here? It's not particularly heavy at 44 tons. Some of the others are heavier. The Batchat is lighter, but I mean, if you've got a ram, if you don't have a choice, of course. Track traverse is not bad. What else can we tell you about this tank? Now the turret traverse of 10 degrees is pretty good. The others have 12, but then they have a very narrow arc in which to traverse. But the Batchat, even though it has a fully traversable turret, only has 6 degrees a second. It's very, very slow, so you probably want to move your tracks at the same time in that tank as well, I assume. The armour, we're not going to do an armour review because it has no armour, 25mm at the front, which is terrible. Health of 450 is below average, so the best is 500 for the GW Tiger, the worst is 440 for the Batchat. The view range is the best of the bunch, 300, so once again helps it defend itself at the end of the game. And the shell cost is 1870, so if you have a bad game you will lose money in this tank. The map is Ruinberg, and I've just done 15 points of damage to our friendly T49. Well, he ran into me. Now I'm showing you this game not because there's a huge amount of damage or anything like that, but this game really demonstrates the weaknesses of the tank and some of the strengths of the tank. So it's a really good way to see how it all works. Now, I always try and knock down all of these railings right at the start like that, so that I don't accidentally hit one during the middle of the game. If someone's trying to counter battery me, if the rails are already down, I won't accidentally knock one down during gameplay and give away my position. So I always at the start like to try and hit any scout tanks or anything like that. That was a terrible shot, but it disappeared and I thought I had to take the shot and it just went nowhere near where I wanted it to, unfortunately. Now you will see me moving after each shot, but we don't receive any counter battery because the M43 on our team doesn't move for pretty much the entire game and he never gets counter batteried. So, but I generally move around a bit, especially when there's 3 arty on each team, as there is in this case. So this is a tier 10 game. See if we can hit this guy. Oh, he's stationary. I think he's tracked. Nice hit. 381 damage. So fairly heavily armoured tank there. I think that was a Super Pershing or something? Anyway, it does do reasonable damage even to fairly well armoured tanks, this gun, compared to its predecessors anyway. So I'm thinking about seeing if we can get close to this guy. I fire the shot. I think I fire a shot. No, I'm not reloaded yet. Now, as you can see, the gun arc is a little low and it's hard to shoot over buildings and things. I'm keeping my aim over here while I'm looking around. So I've got my finger on the right mouse button to keep my aim where it is. Then I decide, no, I'm going to aim over here. But then, no, there's nothing being spotted, so I'm going to go back here and see if we can maybe just land near one of these guys. At least track them and get them to use a repair kit, like the other artillery there is hitting him. Splashing him. Not much to shoot at. And this is where a low gun arc is very frustrating. Sometimes you can be loaded but just have nothing to shoot at. Here we go, let's see if we can get this T49. Waiting for my aim. And damn it, he's moved. We might get a shot here though. Let the shell go. Oh nice, 451 is not too bad, I'll take that. And as you can see, I'm repositioning again just to avoid counter battery fire. But you can see I haven't got shots on anybody, the gun arc is just not good enough. Now you can see there's a tank next to me there, an FV385. He has 2 marks of excellence on his gun, which is very hard to do in artillery at the moment. And he is moving after each shot as well, so that goes to show you, you should move if you can. Alright, I decide to let this shell go just close to him. I'm waiting for reload. And I let it go. It's a bit of a close one, and we actually hit the building, so we do nothing basically. Oh no, the M43 is manoeuvring there, but I think he's only manoeuvring to get better shots. He's not actually manoeuvring for counter battery because he doesn't move far enough. Yeah, I just can't land shots on any of these guys. This is showing you one of the weaknesses of the tank. It is often better to be back where the FV305 is, or further back often can help. But in this case it's not helping me at all. So now we are fully reloaded and we're looking for a shot. This is something you never want to have happen in artillery. You basically want to keep your gun firing all the time. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm loaded and ready to fire. I'm going to let my team know that I'm loaded and ready to fire because I want this guy to get spotted before. I'm not, I assume he's in this bush, but I'm not just going to shoot there. So I'm just basically did that and then said I'm ready to fire just to let my team know it's worth spotting the guy. So I hit him, not for much, 295, but then our other hardy hits him just after me for 280. So we get that as a stun assist, which is good. So our team now can move forward a little bit more because we've managed to whittle that flank down. Deciding here whether I go after the Batchat or that other T-54. T-54's got almost no health at all, so probably will get killed by the time I finish aiming or reloading. No, okay, we're reloading now since, yeah, we might get this guy because he's, looks like our T-44 is getting wasted here. I'll let the shell go. Oh, and we get a nice hit for 477 and our Progetto hits him straight after for 250. No, someone else on the team hits him straight after. And he's been hit again, I'd say he's pretty close to dead, that Progetto, and our T-44 is still alive, which is the important thing. He's had to back up that Progetto. So we're reloading, and he gets wiped. That's good. So now we're looking like end game. We've got quite a few tanks left. We've got about 7 or 8 tanks left. They only have about 5 tanks left. I thought I saw Artie just fire from here, so I let the shell go. Counter battery at its finest. But things are changing. Even though we just got that tank, they've only got 4 tanks left, but we're down to 6. And 3 of ours are artillery, and only 1 of theirs is artillery. So I'm thinking this is not looking that good. And I can't get shots where I am. I decided to start moving, because towards the end game, I noticed they've got an ELC in play. Towards the end game, a lot of people, especially if they're going to lose, they just rush to go and get Artie. So I don't want to be there when he arrives. And also I'm trying to maneuver it so I can get shots here. I kind of have a shot here, but I'm waiting for aim, otherwise I might land nowhere near the gun. He actually kills our tank, so I'm just going to take a shot here. He disappears off the radar, so I'm not sure if we did any damage to him there or not. But as you can see, things have changed. We're down to 4 tanks and only 1 of ours is not artillery. They have 3 tanks and none of them are artillery, so they basically have the advantage now. So I'm running, as you can see, tank is fast. We are doing 50 kilometers per hour up here. So if you pay attention to the map, the ELC hasn't been spotted for a while. We've got a STRV still hiding up there. T62A is moving up. Now look at the ELC there, he's going for Artie. I knew that was going to happen. So I'm going to have a shot at this tank here. I have now been spotted, so I very quickly take a shot at the T62A, and I'm pretty sure I landed nowhere near it. He's been spotted again now, but I got spotted, so I foolishly thought, oh, I've got to move, because I thought, oh, the enemy Artie will get me, but I forgot that their Artie's already been killed. I don't really know where to go here, but I'm in a bit of a depression. I just decide to sit here, load my gun, hope he stays spotted long enough, which he hasn't. It looks like I'll probably get killed here, but I'm hoping that he will just come quickly driving at me and I'll spot him in time. It's a bit of a 50-50 call, this. If he just gently drives up to a bush, I've been spotted, so I'm probably going to die right now. There he is. Let's try and get our gun pointing at him. Oh, there's a ridge. There's a ridge. We've got a chance here. As I said, this tank is very good at defending itself. Now, if you notice there, we were in a bit of a ditch. My tank was on a slight upslope. In any of the other Tier 9 artillery then, that shot wouldn't have worked, because I wouldn't have had the gun depression to shoot down at him, because my tank was tilted slightly up. So that does show the self-defense ability of this tank. Now I'm waiting for this Badger to come after our artillery. I'm waiting for reload now. He's pulling back though, unfortunately, he might not get the shot. So this is the last tank left in their team, and it's just artillery on our team. So in theory, the Badger could win this game, but we're in a good position. Let's let the shell go now. Oh yeah, baby. Didn't think I was up there, did you, Badger? No. So as I said, it wasn't the greatest game, but it did have a bit of everything. We had not being counter-batteried, and we had doing some counter-battery, like we saw where that shell was shot from, and we hit and killed the enemy tank. We showed that the gun arc isn't that good on some maps, like on that map, not a good map for this tank. Unless the enemy is attacking aggressively, you can get shots on it, but otherwise it's not good on this map. We showed the speed and maneuverability of the tank. We showed how it's able to defend itself quite well, and we showed how it can reposition really well. So a good demonstration of the tank. Anyway, it was a Class 2. Let's have a look at the next. We actually finished second in our team. We did 2,223, which is not bad. 922, so that's good XP, which means we probably must have got a bit of stun assist. 11 shots fired, 4 direct hits, 3 splashes, 2,020 whatever damage, 7 tanks damaged, 3 destroyed, only 77 seconds of stun, which isn't a lot, but 1,320, which means that our tanks were shooting the ones we stunned, and I think actually a fair bit of that was my other artillery hitting stuff that I stunned, so we're kind of lucky there. I only stunned 4 tanks, so that is actually pretty good stun assist. We're a bit lucky with that. As you can see, income-wise, we only made 10,000, but the shells are very expensive in this tank. Well, it's a tier 10 game, of course, and we're on Al Haluf. If I had to think of a title for this game, I would call it I'll Be Stunned, or Stun Me Sideways, something like that, because this is one of those games where I get a lot of stun done, but we don't get much stun damage out of it. Happens sometimes in artillery, but it is, to get mastery in artillery now, it really is all about the stun, even at tier 9. At tier 10 I think it's a bit different because you don't get much for stunning tanks that are the same tier or lower tier than you, but you get quite a bit for stunning higher tiers. So if I can manage to stun the tier 10s, you should get good stun damage. Now I'll talk about it at the end of the game. I've got something I want to talk about, but I'll talk about it when we finish the game. I always go for scouts at the start if I can. Oh, a nice little skid there, but made him slow down. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. 472 damage to that bat chat. He won't be happy. But hey, if you're going to do fancy skids... I do trouble with those fancy skids. They slow your tank down a lot. And yeah, gave me a chance to predict his movements as well. So he paid for that one. And as you can see, it does do pretty good damage, this gun. Now, this T10 is pausing for a bit too long on the corner there. We don't get a direct hit, but we still do 314 damage. That said, it did look like a direct hit on that bat chat, which really, in theory, should have pretty much done over 1,000 damage. But there's something strange about the mechanics of artillery. I think the penetration is actually a bit of fiction. Now, I see these tier 10s all here, and this E100, obviously a very well armoured tank, very hard tank to kill, so I figure, hey, one of the best things I can do is, if I've got a shot, try and hit it. We only splash it 109. We do actually splash that 50 TP there as well. We only did 109 damage. It's a very hard tank to damage in artillery, but I like to do it because if I can whittle him down, taking him out of the game should help our team a lot, and he is hanging around that area. So if I can hit him on the top of the roof, we could probably do big damage to him. That's why I'm aiming where I'm aiming. I'm hoping to land on the top of his roof. But, you know, take a shot. And we obviously miss where we're aiming and miss him obviously as well. But maybe we did a little bit of splash damage. So one thing about stunning tanks, if they're not on the front line when you stun them, well, you're not going to get stun assist damage. As you can see there, he's on 91% health. So it might have done a little bit of damage to him, not much. What I'm going to do with this 50 TP is aim to try and hit him, but even if I hit the rock behind him, it's still going to splash him. Fire at him, and that looked like a direct hit for 218. Another very well armoured tank, but another very good tank as well. So helping our team by hitting him, but even though we're splashing and we're getting good stuns, we're not probably getting much stun assist because our tanks aren't in position to shoot those particular tanks. So if you want to get good XP, you need to be hitting tanks that are frontline, like these tanks now. Although even here says not really anyone other than the Centurion, maybe I3 that can shoot these guys. But anyway, I let the shell go, and it hits the rock. Oh no. This is what I meant about a crucial miss. That was a crucial miss. And with the long reload time now, we're probably going to lose that flank before I can reload. That would have made a big difference hitting and splashing those tanks just then, but may have actually been able to keep that other tank alive. But we're going to lose the IS-3 now as well, yep. By the time I reload, they may even have moved down here. I won't even get a shot at them at all. Maybe. Hopefully I reload in time. Alright, they're pausing, luckily for me. Let's see if we can get rid of this Centurion one. Not bad, 364 damage to the Centurion and 47 for the 50 TP, and we did get stuns, but not so sure that anybody's going to be able to give us any stun assist there. Oh, our object's in a bad spot here. Looks like he's waiting for a reload. Try and get a shot on this E100, although he is using this dead tank for protection. So I'm aiming well behind the E100 because I don't want to hit the dead tank. They tend to totally absorb your shots, dead tanks. I couldn't fire because I was too worried about splashing my own tank. So it looked like a direct hit there, only 206 damage because we hit the side skirts which have spaced armor. So yeah, I held off shooting because I didn't want to splash and kill my own tank, but what do you do? So hopefully we can reload in time here and get these guys. So our plan of trying to get rid of that Jagdpanzer E100 there didn't pay off, unfortunately. Waiting for a reload now. Now would be good. Here we go. Alright, they're all bunched together. This should be good. So we hit them all. 223, 233, and a little bit on the E100. Splashed them all, but didn't take anybody out. Oh, we've got our first stun assist damage. I think 181 someone did on the Jagdpanzer E100, and they took it out. Hallelujah. Finally he's gone, but I think it's too late. Let's see how we go with our next shot. Or can we keep our 268-4 alive? Reload, come on, reload. Take the shot, hopefully we'll splash both of them there. We did 291 damage to that 50 TP, yep. But the one at the rear of him, which was another 50 TP, was it? Oh, it was 50 TP PR, whatever that is. One of them was a premium, I guess. We splashed him with no damage. So these really, really well armoured tanks that just very hard to do much to, unfortunately. Now would be a good time to reload. All these tanks clumped together, but here we go. I decide to, rather than going for damage, I decide to take this guy out just because one less gun. We're not looking good. We've only got 5 tanks left and they have 7, I think, and it's just, we're looking like we're going to lose. So I decided to take that gun out of the game. So this is end game, not looking good. Our tanks are split up, so our only 2 real tanks on the other side of the map. We've got some heavies coming for us, so we're probably going to get wiped out arty here fairly soon. This is the only target available, so it's the one I'm going to aim for. I decided not to take the shot, but these guys have been spotted. I can't hit this 50 TP. The buildings are blocking the shot, as well as the hill. I would have to actually come over the hill and expose myself to him to get a shot, and I'll be instantly killed. I'm pretty sure they do that because they've still got both their arty in play as well as all these other tanks. This STRV has been spotted and is not moving, so I'm going to fully aim and try and get a bit of damage in before I die. Let the shell go. Looks like we missed, but we probably did a bit of splash damage unless he decided to take off. It's pretty much looking like end game here now. I'm deciding to come over this ridge because I'm expecting the heavies to come the other side of the ridge to come and get me. So I'm expecting them to come from my right now. I'm getting ready to take my last stand here. I do decide to come back over here and just shoot whatever's coming at me just as it crests the ridge here. Then I see the E100's been spotted. He's looking into the valley, so maybe we'll get a shot off here. Oh, nice shot into the back. Oh, he catches fire, but he obviously had a automatic fire extinguisher. And 50 TP extracts its revenge. All we have left remaining is the RHM on our team, who is hiding in a bush in the middle, and he doesn't do anything. We die. We lose. So the game might not have looked that great, but we did get a Gauze medal in it, so we did a fair bit of damage. We did hit that STRV. We did a fair bit of damage to it too, I think. So we'll have a look at the next one, and we finished second on our team for experience. We lost pretty badly, but oh well, such is life. We fired 13 shots, 7 direct hits, which is a lot. 12 splash damage. We did 3,685 damage, even though a lot of the hits, in fact most of the hits, we didn't do big damage, but it was just was cumulative, and we hit 2 or more tanks at a time a few times, and it just sort of all added up. We damaged 8 tanks, destroying 1. We did 284 seconds of stun, which is a huge amount of stun. I think that's a lot of stun. We only got 181 stun assists, which is almost nothing. Whenever I found in artillery, whenever you lose, you get hardly any stun assist, because it means that tanks, especially if you're stunning tanks on the front line and your stun assist is very low, it means that your guys were unable to damage their frontline tanks, which means you're going to lose. So anyway, we did 18 stuns, which is also huge. That's a lot of stun assists, but almost no stun damage. This is one of the main reasons why I'm showing you this game, because we got courageous resistance, because we got the Gauze medal. So even though we did 3,685 damage, we only made 4,000 profit, and we didn't get, if you notice, our class anything. So we got a Gauze medal, but we didn't get even a class 3 in the tank. So what was our total XP? Our total XP was 422 plus 256 for courageous resistance. So it was 678 XP we got for that game, even though we did 3,685 and got a Gauze medal, and mostly hitting a lot of tier 10 tanks. So it's all about the stun. We only did 181 stun. Now, I will put a link in the description to the game which I've already put up, which I got my master in it, and I completed the SPG 15 mission for the T55A, I think the tank's called, but so it's a third set of missions. In that one, I do less stunned time. I do about, 150 stun, but I do 4,000 stun damage. Have a look at that game, and that's the difference. I did almost the same amount of damage. I think I did 3,688 damage in that game, but got 4,000 stun assists, and that gave me mastery. Whereas doing this almost the same amount of damage with no assist doesn't even give me a class 3. So it's all about the stun. Thank you for watching my review of the M5355. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more reviews, please subscribe to Reginaldesq, and of course, have fun.